Hello and welcome to Julie Hickey Designs. This is Julie Hickey and we're having our live for our Fun with Foilables event. So I will just check, I don't think I put my volume up. Right, okay, it's up. Let me just reset my computer and I give people a chance to come on. We'll just check. There we go. Lovely. Thank you so much, Tracy. That's brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to share a card that I've made. Morning, Philippa. Thank you, lovely. I'm going to share a card that I've made, but I'm also going to share Tracy's beautiful card tutorial that we've had that's available to download now. Hi Jeanette. So I will flip the camera and let's get started. Bear with me. I've made a folder, you see. It's not brilliant, but I've made a folder. Bear with me. I've decided that maybe construction isn't my forte. I don't know. Actually, I'm pretty pleased with it, to be fair. So from this, from Lidl's, so just Lidl's cereal box, I made this, which I was pretty pleased about. And I made it so that it takes, let me bring it up a little bit, so it takes all the files that we've printed out so far. So I've decided that this is a quarter of the year, so I'm going to do 4 of these and I'm going to give these away. So I will do a post next week and it will include the box and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 card tutorials and the cards. So there'll be 4 prizes over the year. I mean, how lovely is that to have the beautiful cards that have been made by the design team. So made by Emma, and then you've got the how-to all printed out, ready so you can give it a go, but you've also got the actual card, which I think is pretty special. And then, so that was January, then this was February's. Again, you'll get the card and you'll get the printed out brochure, so you can make one yourself. And then we've also got Philippa's beautiful one that we did for, I think it was February as well. Or was it March? I can't remember now, sorry. But you've got Philippa's beautiful butterfly card as well. So you will get the card and the how-to instruction sheet. And then we've got Emma's beautiful foilable Easter Bunny card. And I will tell you how you can enter when I post next week, when I've worked out what to do. And then this is Tracy's beautiful one that has just been available this week for you to download as well. So Tracy's lovely card where she's used her foilables. She's used them as they come out of the packet. We've got some beautiful ink blending. We've got some lovely stencil work here. We've got great ideas of how to lighten them. Tracy shows you how to do that in the how-tos. And she's used Mary's sunflower and heartfelt sunflower. So older stamps that we've used, but you could use any stamps you like. But I just love the technique that Tracy shares with this. So let me get this open. So we've got our ink blending, and then we've got our water splatting and some stamping. And then we've got some stenciling, but I love how she explains how you can take some of the colour off. So you've got softer, paler colours, and then you can add white acrylic paint as well. So you've got some definite bright white circles on your card as well. So really lovely. So that card as well will be in the file. So the file I did from a cornflakes packet, and then I stamped 3 pieces of A4 card. This is what I've got left. And I brayered with ink pads, and I did use the Studio Light water reactive ones. They're beautiful bright colours, and I just really wanted something really nice, bright and cheerful. So I just braided different areas. The green is where I just used blue, pink and yellow, and so where the colours mix, you'll get a little bit of orange, you'll get a little bit of blue and green, you'll get a little bit of purple. And then I used one of my, you can hardly see the stamp, can you? It's filthy. Look at this. One of my hand-picked florals. And I did 3 sheets, and I managed to cover both the sides and the back here. Ooh. Lose Tracy's card, sorry. And then I've lined the box inside as well with just the blank cardstock. So it's really lovely and quite substantial. I did go over the edges with black. Not sure if I'm really quite happy. I don't like that you can see some of the cornflake packet, but colour. But I did my best. So it's all covered, and then I've got these bits as well to play with, which I'm looking forward to that. So you will get Tracy's card and leaflet, Emma's card and leaflet, Philippa's beautiful card and leaflet, Emma's card and leaflet, and Emma's first card and leaflet. So as that is a quarter of the year, I think that's a nice prize. We'll do that as the first one, and I will put details of that up next week of how we'll pick a winner. So bear with me. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, so my card for today, using my foilables with my fuchsia stamp, and I've picked out, I coloured my fuchsia in with pinks and purples. I've used pens, but I did use some pearl mist when I was colouring, and I also splatted in the background with my pens, but put the pearl mist on it as well, and it's so pretty. I don't think it's going to really pick it up beautifully. It is a nice prize, Jenny, isn't it? I think so. And then we'll have 4 of them throughout the year, and I'll make a file for, I have to eat some more cornflakes, but we'll make a file for each set of the cards. So I foiled in pink as well to match my stamping and colouring, and I foiled a pink butterfly as well. I can't get there you go. Foiling is so hard to photograph, but it's just, as you know, it is absolutely beautiful in real life. Now I have stamped, coloured and cut out the fuchsia so that I don't have to do that again, but I am going to show how I coloured it in, and then I don't have to cut it all out because it's already done and ready to go. So we will start, I think we'll start with the fuchsia. So let me move things out of the way. And sorry, I was so determined to read, like Philippa does so beautifully, what she used. So I'm going to use a 5x7 card. I am going to be using my fuchsia stamp set, which is JH1087, which is still available. If you haven't got it, it's a beautiful one, especially if you love colouring. And then I've used a butterfly from my Butterflies and Blooms, which is 1001 in my foilables. I've used my sentiment from 1003, which was the first Assorted Sentiments dies, die cut foilables. And then I've used Wales Fab Foil in the pink. And I've used a bit of my Pearl Mist, and I've used my clean colour to colour in. And I'll obviously be using my VersaFine ink pad for stamping. So I want to be a bit careful with my card because it's got some wet glitter glue on it. Okay, so I'm going to take my stamp out first of all, and I'm going to stamp onto a piece of card. So I've got a piece of Super Smooth, pop that down, put my stamp down on it, pick it up, then I'm going to ink up with my VersaFine. Just make sure that I've got my laminator out ready for my foiling. Make sure my stamp's nicely inked up. Nice fairy fingers, not too hard. Lift that up. Now I haven't got a complete petal. It's because I've got my stamp press not laying flat, which is very naughty really. So I've just really concentrated on inking on that part, and I'm only going to put my finger onto there, which will pick this up, because I don't want too heavy a stamp in everywhere else as well. I don't need to re-stamp it or anything. It was just that little piece that was missing. So then I'm going to curl my mat so that my piece springs off and doesn't make it warped or anything, and then that's ready for colouring. So just very quickly spritz my stamp with some water and clean that up, and then that can go back into my pack. I know, Bev, I can't wait to get creative with what's left. Just not enough hours in the day at the moment. Okay, so then this is ready for me to colour. So let's pop that. I've got all these bits of paper up here, and I didn't even look at it when I started. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. I want to put a little bit of my pearl shimmer, give it a good shake, because you need to make sure that it all mixes together. And I just want a little bit down on my pad, on my mat. I'm going to put a bit of green down, and I'm going to put a bit of pink. This is actually, it is pink. That's leaf green and pink. And this, for the darker purple colour, is purple. Okay, so using my water brush, I'm just going to pick up some of the pearl, mix it up onto my brush, and pick up some of the green. The last time when I coloured this in, I mixed the pearl with each colour, and it made it too pale, too wishy-washy. So it's better if you have just a little puddle of the pearl spray and mix it. Just get it on your brush basically, and then as you colour, this will have a nice pearly sheen to it. And this is a much better darker green. I had to go over the one I did this morning about 3 times because I put too much pearl in with my colouring. So I like to go round first of all, and I get a base coat in all of my leaves, and then I'll come back in and do a bit more detail in the sections where the veins are on the leaves. That's what I normally do. I am going to put a little bit of colour down on the stems so that when I cut it out, there'll still be some colour, not just the black. Just those little dots in the top there, and that's my last leaf. So I might need a little bit more green because I want to make it a bit darker. So if I just put that down beside my puddle that I've already got, I can bring it in, but it'll be stronger in colour because I haven't mixed it quite so much. It just gives me that little bit of contrast and a little bit deeper colour onto the leaves. I do like that area to be a little bit darker. Now, if if you prefer, you can still come in. If you're not thinking it's doing it dark enough, you can still come in and put some colour onto the base of the leaf, and then just use your water brush just to move it about a little bit and to sort of break up the harsh lines, if you like, just to blend it in so that it changes from the darker green and then it softens out. Might be better doing it direct. It does give you a bit more contrast. So I can do all the leaves, miss that little circle. And again, don't worry if you go over the edge a little bit, because we are going to cut it out. And then I can just come back in and just soften all those hard edges. And it just gives you a bit more of an ombre for your leaves. And I'm just going to come down. Take your time when you do this, because the harder you push with your nib of your clean colour, the fatter the colour's going to be. Now, I can't get into all the areas unless I use a knife, and I didn't want to. I was just going to cut it out this morning. So there are going to be areas where you can't get in. So do take your time to do that little bit. Okay, so now I need to bring a piece of cloth in. Clean off my brush, make sure I've got no more colour. Then I'm going to come in with my pink. Need to pick up a little bit of the pearl. And this is just going to, in the bottom part of my fuchsia. Oh, it's so much stronger than it was this morning. It's much better. And I do like to just put a little bit of soft colour just around all the stamens. And if you want to come back in and deepen it up a little bit, of course you can. And clean my brush off. And then come in, pick up a little bit of the pearl and into my purple. Let's get that colour. Get a base down first of all. And then we can come back in with a bit stronger colour. Oh, thank you, Bev. Yeah, it's it would make a nice background actually. When I finish with it, I could cut it out, couldn't I? It's one of those really lovely soft fabric. I don't know what fabric it is, but it's super soft. It's lovely. It's so cozy. Not that it's cold. We've got a lovely bright sunny day today. Right, so I'm just going to blend those pieces in a little bit. I should have moved you down a bit, shouldn't I? I'm sorry. So you've got some difference in that colour. If you want to come in, I can see it actually. Let me just clean my brush off and I'll bring you down, and then you have to go back up again. But yeah, so it's got that shimmer. I can see it by adding the little bit into the colouring. Now I want to do, where's my bits gone? Here we go. I want to do a butterfly, and I want a little bit of colour on it, and I'm going to do the handmade as well. I picked that out and I thought, oh, that would look good, wouldn't it? So I'm going to put a little bit of purple on my butterfly, and it's fine to do this first and then we'll foil it, because it's just watercolours. If it's alcohol inks you're using, which I've learnt from Philippa, you need to do the foiling first, no, the colouring first, and then foil them. Yes, colour them first and then foil them, because otherwise your alcohol ink would go over the top of the foil. Whereas this, because it's just water-based, it's fine. And I can come back in and add my foil in a second. So let's just add a little bit of colour to my butterfly, and I'll add a little bit of colour to my flower. Just put little dots where those other flowers are. Come back in and just have a little bit deeper purple in the centre. Clean my brush off, make sure all that pink's gone, and then we'll just come in and pick up a little bit of green. Make sure my nib's nice on my pen, because my leaves on here are nice and small. I'd like to try and keep them That's better. I like to try and keep my colour inside the leaves if I possibly can. Okay, so I've coloured those bits, they're ready to be foiled. And I've also got my 2 bits of wording that I'm going to foil as well. So I put my foiling machine on. I don't need to cut this out because True Blue Peter style, here's one I prepared earlier. And the only place I haven't cut out is in here. Now I could do that if I wanted to, but the rest I've just done with scissors. So I've just left a little border around the edge, which I'm quite happy with. So I will put this to one side so it can dry, and I can make another card when I'm ready. Now, before I get rid of all this here, while my foiling machine is heating up, I'm going to splat my card. So I need a little bit more mist. I need a bit more colour actually as well. So let's put a bit more green down. And we'll have a bit more pink. I don't want to go over the top where all the water is because it'll affect my pens. So I'll do it beside it, but I'll be able to move it into it. So can I? No, I'm just going to spritz. So I want to spritz a bit of pearl. And then I've got a little bit of acetate. And I didn't use any green, did I? I've just realised. No, I just made it pink. Let's try and get rid of that so it doesn't mess my pink up. Yes, I decided I would stick with pink and purple for the background. So I picked up with my acetate and randomly put some dots. Now I don't want it to be in lines, so let's, if you tap it off on your mat, you can get rid of any lines that you've got, because I just want really nice soft splodges, and I want it to sort of reflect the way the shape of my fuchsia as well. So I will have a few spots down here, but I want it to be a bit more over here, and that'll be all right because that's going to go down over the top of that line, so that'll be fine. But it's got that pearl in it, and the pearl in the felt tip pens just picks it up. It's beautiful. So let's just wipe that up, clean that off, and then I'm going to, I think that's the other side. There we go. I'm going to open my bit of tissue up, get a clean dryish bit, then I can just blot. I don't want this to be particularly bright, but I wanted to use the colours that I've used with my felt tip pens, so not ink pads, because I wanted to know that they were exactly right for what I've actually coloured in with. So I'm happy with that. And again, you can see the shimmer in real life, but I'm not going to be able to pick it up on here. So next up, I want my, we'll leave that to dry. I want my piece of pink foil, which I've already used for my sentiments that I did on my first card. So I'm going to put my, I've got Hoping Your Day Blooms with Happiness, which I thought was really lovely. And then I've got Especially for You in the same font, which always makes it look nice together. Then I've got my Handmade By and my Little Butterfly. So we'll pop those as close as we can. Can shut that up now because I was pink foil down, so the grey was showing. Sorry. So my coloured side is down, so I have to put my foilables down so they're going to pick up the colour. Doesn't matter which way up you do it. You can put the foilables down and then the right side up, and then put your pink foil right side up. But it doesn't matter which way you do it. It was a horrible day yesterday. You're right, Philippa. 1 minute it was sunny and shiny and beautiful, and I looked out the window and I thought maybe the window cleaner had arrived, but it was actually rain, and it was so windy. It was like coming in waves, and then the hailstones, unbelievable, bouncing off the cars they were. Yeah, incredible. And then today it's nice and sunny again. Who knows, we're not even in April yet. So I'm going to turn my laminator off, and then I can reveal, just pulling these off. And now I've got a handmade by and pink foiled. So it's in one of the packs, and I'm really sorry, I don't know which pack this is in. I really should. So I do apologise, but it is in one of the packs of foils. So I thought that was lovely. And then I can take my Hoping Your Day Blooms with Happiness. So happy with that. It's foiled beautifully. Absolutely beautiful. And the pink is so pretty. Love that it matches in with our colouring on our card as well. So lovely. Okay, and then we've got Especially for You. And again, oh, just honestly, it's just so beautiful. And they foil so well, so perfectly. If you do get any pieces, like Philippa was saying about any excess pieces, but I'm pretty happy with all of those. Any extra excess pieces, if you've just got a soft, Philippa uses a soft stencil brush, and it'll just brush any bits out of the way. If you use a rubber, you can use the Couture Creations electronic rubber, but I do find that it buffs the foil a little bit as well. So I think you get a better result if you use a brush, to be honest. Okay, so let's bring my background back in and see. Then we've got this beautiful fuchsia, and I wanted that up a little bit, and then we can have Especially for You, Hope Your Day Blooms, and we'll have a butterfly on it. So I've just been using, of course, a piece of cardboard. Now I've lost my, oh, there's my scissors. Excuse me. So I've literally been cutting this into small strips, so I know it'll fit on my words, and I know it'll fit in places on the fuchsia. So let's bring my glue in. Oh dear, isn't it awful, Philippa, when you get a song in your head and you just can't get rid of it then, can you? So a little bit of cardboard on one of my sentiments. A little bit of cardboard. Is that going to be too big? Yes, just a snip. Let's just take that bit off. That'll be enough. That'll be perfect. And then don't need anything for my butterfly. These little bits I'm going to use for my backs of my flowers. That's too big. Let's pop that one in, that one. I'm always amazed that you think, oh, that'd be small enough. Obviously don't want any of my cardboard showing. No, I'm gonna have to cut a little bit off of that. That's better. Don't want bits peeking out, obviously. Will that bit fit in there? Yep. And then we'll have the big piece that I've got down here. Oh golly, it's amazing, isn't it? Like just how different the weather is being at the moment. I mean, I know when we go into April, we have April showers and all the rest of it, and you're never quite sure. You can have all 4 seasons in one day. And let's just pop a piece down there. That should be enough. Do like to just curl the leaves up a little bit. So any bit past my bit of cardboard, just curl the leaves up, just so it's got a little bit of movement. Just adds a little bit of dimension. Okay, so I'm going to put my fuchsia on first. There should be plenty of cardboard. And I do want to put it towards the top of my card. It's so pretty with the... Oh, I'll bring this up in a minute. Let me see if I can show you how pretty it is. Just the shimmer, I don't think it will pick it up, but it's just so beautiful. Just when you add that little bit of that pearl spray, and because it's just neutral colour, you can make it any colour just by having that little puddle and then mixing it in with your pens. Right, let's make sure I've got my card straightish, so I get my wording on straightish. Might have to stand up to check. Yeah. And then we'll put our other sentiment on. Now, some people don't like these going onto a white card with nothing around the edge, but because we've got this little bits of splats in the background, I think it looks absolutely fine. I think I'm going to probably bring it back to there. And then with my butterfly, I'm going to take my pokey tool and just curl my feathers, curl the wings. Thinking about something else I'm using at the minute. All will be revealed soon. Yes, I'm dangling them carrots again. Okay, so just a little bit of glue for the body. And I'm going to rest that about there. I do like to use my pokey tool just to hold it in the centre, because that's the only place that I put glue. Yeah, sorry Jeanette. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this, and then we'll pop that. Actually, I'm going to put it in this corner. And then when I write on my cards, I tend to do it in pencil. I don't know why. Have I got any? Yes, there is some lead in there. And I do like to do a heart for the 0. So added that to my card beautifully. Just so pretty. And then all all I did was a little bit of glitter glue on the stamens and the little buds, and just on the leaves, just because. But I'll leave the other one plain. Oh, no, I can't. I just need to add a bit of glitter glue. And then Donna, as you've been so good, I might just show you another card. Because I have got another sort of card, sort of prepped. So a little bit on each of the leaves, and I literally just scribble a little bit, hardly squeezing the bottle, but it just adds that little bit of sparkle. Oh, you are going to love it, aren't they, Philippa? Sorry, I probably said something way too soon. I am sorry. But I hope you've enjoyed that one. So, what am I going to do with the next one? Right, oh, I know what I'm going to do. Okay, so my next one that I've got, I need to get a proper bit of card. So let's pop these to one side because they've both got glitter glue on them. And I will photograph them, or one of them, because they're both the same. So I am going to ink blend these. These are from my Floral Fancies, which is 1002 of my foilables. So I'm going to ink blend these first, and I think we'll carry on with using my Studio Light Reactive inks, and I'm going to use my little brushes that Emma got me onto. So let me get the other ones. So I have, oops, blue, yellow, and green. I don't think I need any more. I've got some spare ones I haven't used yet, which is good. I know, I'm spoiling you, aren't I? I thought you'd enjoy it. Okay, so that'll be the base. I don't need to get that dirty, not dirty, but coloured. So we'll have our flowers. We've got our leaves. Oh, for goodness sake. Right. They're the flowers. These are the leaves. Let's get my green ink pad. And I was going to use my brush and start off adding a little bit of colour. And I'm just going to blend all over the top. Might need to come in with, no, maybe not. I might need to come in with a deeper colour. I think I'll be able to come in with this one. Oh yes, lovely. So just add in a little deeper colour at one end. And I like when we ink blend them that we're going over the edge, so all the edges are the same colour that you've ink blended them. I'm rather liking this method, a different method of colouring them, obviously, to actually colouring them in, which is still one of my favourite things to do because I love colouring. So with these leaves, need to be a little bit careful, just holding each part so that you're not going to rip anything. And I'm really finding these brushes are just lovely for adding that bit of colour. So we should really have a bit different. Oh no, we'll come in with a deeper green in a minute. So we'll do this first. But it is nice to be able to add the, excuse me, different colours. So let's come in with this green now. Oh yeah. Right. So I'm just adding that almost down the centre. But now I've got some difference in the colour. I actually add a little bit of this just to bring that colour out a little bit. Okay, come back in with the light one. Obviously, because I've got some of the darker colour probably still on my brush a little bit, might affect this, but it'll just give me a different green, so I'm not too worried. I'm not very precious like that. Oh, I know what I must do. Let's put my laminator back on so that by the time I've done the flowers, it'll all be ready to go. So really liking adding the colours like this, and even just tap down and add a bit more colour. Right, so that was that green, that was that green. Okay, so what I do need to do is wipe my mat because I'll have a lot of green ink on there that I don't want to pick up on my brushes when I come to do my flowers. Okay, so flowers next. I think I'm going to do all the flowers. I've got to find some different way of storing my ink pads. It's really starting. So I'm going to have purple and I'm going to have pink and orange, but I want yellow. Right. Let's pick up my yellow. I saw somebody had posted on their, I think it was Workspace Wednesday, that they're redoing their craft room, and I don't want to redo the whole lot or anything, but I'm sort of feeling a bit the same. I don't think I'm using my space very well. I mean, I've got my distressed oxides in the storage that we made, that Hazel taught us to make, but I've now got these. I still like my VersaFine Claire, but they're in a box in my wardrobe that I keep in my crafty cupboard, and I feel like I don't use them because I don't see them. So I'm trying to think. I've got a drawer unit that beside me that I don't really use very much. Would it be better to have stuff in there? So I'm trying to think what's a better way to use my space a little bit at the minute. So watch this space. I won't promise anything, but maybe over Easter that would be something that I could concentrate on. Okay, so I'm doing some different flowers, but in the same colours. So I'm going to have some pinks. I'll have a couple of pinks, couple of purples, and a couple of orange. But I want some small and some big ones in the same colours. Maybe a bit nicer just to have a little bit more ink around that dark. Pleased with that. Okay, so then we'll go to these. I got these from Amazon. They were, I can't even remember how much they were now. They weren't expensive though. When I saw how beautiful Emma had blended and foiled her foilables, or ink blended on her foilables, I asked her what she'd use because I didn't know if she'd use sponges or brushes or what, and she'd use these exact brushes, and I thought I'm just going to buy myself a set and see how I get on, and I have to say I am very pleased with them. So yes, I got them from Amazon, which I always feel a little bit bad about and not buying from craft shops, but yeah, I wanted to, when you know something works, that's the trouble. You know, I knew that Emma had got these, and so it was like, okay, so if I go and buy some from a craft shop, are they going to do the same thing? I'm sure they probably would, but anyway, I'm afraid I did get them from Amazon, but I do always feel bad doing that, I'm not going to lie. Okay, so a bit of purple, because pink, purple and orange always look lovely, in my eyes they always look lovely together. Need to keep away from my yellow a little bit because I don't want to make mucky colours, if I can help it. But it does blend really nicely. I mean, I have to say actually that the Foilables card is really nice for blending on. Yeah, it's ink blends beautifully, because we didn't have any say in what the card was that they used as the base for the Foilables, but it just so happens that it does ink blend really nicely. Okay, so we have a really nice bright colourful card here. Let's get them out of the way. I don't know what else I'm going to do yet. Oh yes I do, yes I do. I saw something that Jo did at her workshop and I thought, oh, I'm going to do that because I think that's such a lovely idea, and I'd forgotten to share that you can do it. So I'm going to do that in a minute, and Jo will be going, what are you going to do? Okay, so take my pink out because I don't want it to be pink. I think we'll go with silver. And I remembered this morning when I cut my piece of foil to open my piece of foil out, and I just did it with a craft knife rather than my scissors, and it worked beautifully. Now it's not going to, is it? Oh, come on. Right, let's cut that a bit first. There we go. So I didn't use a metal ruler, just used my craft knife And I'm going to place these foil, so silver side, the proper silver, is down. Then I can just place my flowers on the top here, and I can see where I'm putting them. I can put them as close as I can get them. Let's pop these little leaves all around. Can obviously come back in and use the rest of the foil anyway. In fact, we'll use the rest of the foil for what I saw Jo do on her workshop. And I thought, I've forgotten about that. So they're all in there. Might get a few problems with my crease there, but I can always put them back in. I'll try and smooth it out a little bit. My laminator is ready. It's flashing green. So let's pop that in there. Yeah, I mean, I would always much rather support the craft shops, obviously. Oh, there you go. Polka Doodle sets from Jamie at Craftmania. They're fab. There we go. There's a good recommendation. And the Spellbinder set that Jeanette does is good. Okay, so let's... Hang on, I've seen another comment. Right, so let's pop these out. Now that the foil's wrinkled a little bit, so I don't know what that's done that. Okay, that's foiled beautifully. Got my lovely silver foil on there, quite happy with that. My leaves come up lovely. All the foil. Yep. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I have just spotted there's some black bits on there, so I'm going to put that bit back. And I've got a little bit missing here. I don't know if I can pick it up. I need to make the foil. There's a little black bit there, so I'm going to pop that back in. That's okay. Some of these might be a bit... No, that's lovely. Where it was across the crease, but I think we're going to sort of probably get away with it. Yep, lovely. Another nice one. And our leaves all coming up looking beautiful. So I will just pop, I'm going to need to, oh, it's still on. Right, I'm going to pop these two back in and just run those through. And while that's going through, I'm just going to cut into these because I want to shape them. So I'm cutting in along the petals, almost into the centre, leaving a little bit not cut, probably about 10, no, maybe not quite a centimetre. So cut this down. I want to be able to shape them, so I need to cut them right down to the middle, to that lovely centre that we've got. Won't affect your foiling at all, but then I'll be able to curl and shape the flowers just like I would if I'd stamped or die cut flowers. Just much nicer if you can give them a little bit of dimension and curl and shape them a little bit. I always find it looks, well, I always like them more. So down into that centre area, just maybe a couple of mil away from the centre. And that bit's done. Okay, so my other two flowers should be done now. Ah, much better. Yeah, it's always worth putting it through again. Any of the little toner ink that didn't melt or got caught in a little crease in the foil, once you lay it back in there again on a fresh piece of foil, and that now is all completely foiled all the way around, it's beautiful. You can put it back through 2, 3, 4 times. It doesn't affect it, won't affect the foil that's already been done. but you know that if it does miss anything, you can always put it back in. Okay, so I want my foil. I don't want my laminator. I can turn that off. So this is what I'm going to mount these up onto. I'm going to curl and shape my flowers. So just around my pokey tool. And then I'm going to use my thumbnail into the centre of the flower against my finger, so it's got a soft cushion, just to curl those petals up a little bit more. So curl these round. Nothing is affected by the foil. The blending just looks beautiful. And then I just use my nail against my finger, like I say, so it's like a soft cushion. If you've got an embossing tool and a foam mat, you can do it into there and curl and shape your flowers even more. So literally just, they curl and shape beautifully. In actual fact, when you ink blend on these, it gives them a lovely feel. They just, yeah, really lovely. So I've got 3 big ones. Just curl and lift these up. So even my little flowers are going to have a bit of dimension. And then the thing that I saw Jo doing at her workshop yesterday, I don't know if Jo's watching actually, she showed them how to use foil with double-sided tape to give an edge to their card. So it's almost like adding a layer of foiled card, but you do it with double-sided tape. So this is my heat resistant, but it doesn't need to be heat resistant. It can just be any double-sided tape that you've got. This is lovely and thin, so I'm not going to do it quite the same as Jo did, but it definitely sparked the idea. So I'm going to put this down on my mat, and I'm going to use the lines on my mat to keep my card straight and to keep my tape as straight as possible. I won't promise it's straight. Okay, and I'm going to do a couple, I can see that's not straight. Going to do a couple of lines. Oh. So because this is heat resistant, I could put embossing powder on this if I wanted to, but I'm going to use it with my foil. Oh no, I didn't clean my mat very well, did I? So I'm going to snip these ends off. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to remove, just firm them down. They're not going to be very straight. I can see they aren't, I'm sorry. Let's remove the paper. And you can do both pieces at once because I'm going to do them the same colour. And then I'm going to grab my piece of silver foil, because that's the colour foiling that we've done. And I'm just going to lay this down over the top of my double-sided. Now it won't take everywhere because there are gaps in this bit of foil, but it will stick to your double-sided. Then I can come back in, and any pieces where the patterns were on the foil, you can cover that up, just go over it again. Caught the double-sided there, it's not stuck right down to the end, never mind. But now we have 2 foiled strips down the side of our cards, albeit not very straight. So now I'm going to curl and shape my leaves. So I like to do a little bit going up and a little bit coming down. And we'll make a little arrangement. So then we can have, now we'll have pink and we'll have orange in there and purple over here. Actually, what I did was I layered them much more together, didn't I? I overlapped them when I did have them laid out. Now let's have, yeah, I'm going to put them much closer together. I'm going to just curl these leaves a little bit just to get a bit of dimension going with those. And then I will need a sentiment, but I'm going to probably use my sentiment from my fuchsia set actually. I'm just literally lifting all these leaves just to give it a little. Isn't it lovely, Jenny? And it's a really good way of using up your tape. If you've got big sheets of tape, you can die cut them and then you can foil on the top. So you could die cut leaves and foil the whole leaf. But it's a really nice way just to add a little bit of decoration. And I really like, there are marks on here. Not marks exactly, but it's like from the patterns. But it just looks distressed. It looks lovely. Okay. I might have to chop that little top bit off because it's going to annoy me. Okay, I've got this silly little bit of cardboard here, but if I cut this into little squares, and I've got 6 flowers, so I've got 6 bits of card. So we'll put these down in the centres of our flowers, so it's just going to raise it up a little bit for me, and then I'm going to pop this down, make a start. I'm going to have it a bit away from the bottom, because that way I can tuck leaves and things underneath it a lot easier. Oops. Pop that down in the middle. This all has got sellotape on the back, so I'm only hoping it's going to stick. So I'm going to tuck those underneath. So I love how Tracy does it when she layers them up, but she puts them really close together. I always like spread mine out a little bit, but and Philippa was doing it yesterday as well on her card. Just really nice when they're, let's just tuck, have that pink one as the main one and just tuck that other petal behind. With the leaves, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, and I do like almost flatten it a little bit just so it will tuck behind. There we go. And then I could have, oh, actually, I'm going to do that directly onto the card, which will be really nice as well because you'll have some different layers to it. Let's add our leaves. Tuck that in behind, so it's nice that it's following up and it's drawing your eye to the foiling. Always forget what Tracy does. You can always, in fact I'm going to do it, you can always cut into them. Don't think you've got to have them as they are. You can make them smaller, and I always forget this. I know that sounds silly, and there's nothing to stop us. Oh, actually, no, there isn't. If I put that in, actually, I'm going to pop that in up here. So you've just got those leaves. I'm not going to lose those leaves. And I'm going to pop, oh, another pink one down here, really. Have a pink flower. And then an orange up here. And then we've got these little tiny leaves, which will just be really lovely to pop in, because you always get leaves different sizes, don't you? So, oh, I really like that. And then let's just pop that under there. Yeah, how lovely. And then I'm not going to put a sentiment on it actually, but I could put a foilable sentiment. Oh, shall I? Oh, let's finish it off. Right, this is all rubbish. Let's get rid of this. Oh, brilliant. Now it's all stuck to my mat. I wish I was a nice clean crafter. Right, let's quickly pop this on and we'll pop our silver piece back in. We might have to do it a couple of times. And let's pick a really nice, oh, we have got happy birthday there. Look, this is a really nice bold one with that. That's a bit too big. Let me see, we've probably got another one. Right, let me just tip them out because they come in all different sizes. Here we go. Right, so that's too big. Not a bit bigger than that. Oh, that would look nice actually. Oh yes, let's do a just for you, and then I can put any sentiment on it inside, can't I? I'll pop those away in a minute. So this needs to go shiny side down, and we'll pop that up there. I've just got to wait for my, let's pop that on a card. So we will get a 6x4 card blank, and that's the same size. So I can just snip a bit off of this. So let's get rid of that bit that I don't like. And then if I'm careful, I don't think I'm going to be able to. I have to pull that one off. There we go. And let's just have those off. See, this is the real card making that you don't get to see. And that bit's got a bit of sellotape on the back of the cardboard. So then that bit needs a bit more off the top. See, this is why I'm not very good winging it. I know some people can wing it brilliantly, but I'm much better if I've made the card start to finish. Right, let's have that bit in there. And let's pop those bits back. Let's pop that under there then. There we go. Okay, so that's going to go on here now. And now I've got a nice border around the edge of that one. It's so pretty. And my laminator's ready. So let's pop our Just For You through. And I need a little slither of cardboard for the Just For You. That should be plenty. Oh, you're all so welcome. Just lovely to do a bit of crafting. Not that I'm not doing any crafting at the minute, I am, but just can't share it. Okay, let's have a look. I might need to actually pop this back through, mightn't I? Let's see. Oh no, that's, oh, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I really do hope that you've enjoyed this Foilables mammoth event. I really have. It's really made me stop and think just how fabulous they are and how quick and easy to make such beautiful cards. They just give such fabulous results every single time. If you've got that laminator and you've got, and I would have to say, well, for foils now, I know one of our ladies, Jane, had a problem with her foils, and I was very disappointed with how they turned out. And I asked her what she'd used, and it turned out that she'd used some foils that she'd had a very long time, and they weren't very good. And she used some fab foils and sent me a message yesterday saying just how wonderful. Oh, I forgot the yellow. Oh, I can see all the yellow on my glass mat. That was lucky. Whew. Yeah, she sent me a message yesterday to say she'd used the fab foils and how amazing the results were. So she was dead chuffed, and otherwise she would have been really disappointed with how the foilables had worked, because she'd tried to use these foils that I don't know why they didn't work, but they certainly didn't. Like, they foiled absolutely everywhere, and I'd never seen it as bad as that. You do get bits of excess foil sometimes, especially if your laminator gets a bit warm. Always good sometimes to turn it off and let it cool down a little bit. But no, she was so chuffed with the results, which I'm really pleased about. Okay, so let's have a... No, I'm going to put it just above. There we go. Let's check. That looks straightish. It does. Now, I haven't... This is a foilables against a white card. Now, some people don't like the sort of... It's like... Well, I'm going to call it a... It's when it's die cut, it's laser cut. It's not die cut, it's laser cut. And the laser adds heat to the paper, and you get a bit of a... Almost like a... I suppose you do get a bit of a brown tinge. But I really think that looks super. I don't think there's anything wrong with using that directly onto a white card. And I absolutely love this. So thank you, Jo. Jo put hers all around the edge of her piece yesterday, and then they layered on top of it. So it looked like they'd got a layer of gold foiling. But they'd obviously just used a bit of double-sided around the edge. But I really like that with the two lines. So let's bring the other card back in that we did. So there we go. That was my last Foilables live. We've got one more with Tracy on Monday. And then that's the end of the event. But I will post a link so that you can find all the videos, because I put them under one playlist. So you'll be able to find all the videos in one place. And then if you want to have a play with foilables one day, just pop the playlist on while you're crafting, maybe. Okay, let me just flip the camera, because I do like to say goodbye. Bring a bit of light into the subject. Okay, so thank you so much. No, it wasn't Jo's live yesterday. Sorry, she's posted this morning in the friends group about her workshop that she did yesterday. So yeah, it was on there, and I just looked at her photographs and saw that they were putting foil on with double-sided tape, and I'd forgotten all about that. And I just think it really adds something. So yeah, so it was just photographs from her workshop that she did yesterday for her customers, like a face-to-face one. Anyway, thank you so much. Don't forget there's a list of stockists, and some of them have still got offers on for the foilables, so take advantage of that because it'll be ending soon. And thank you, Donna, that's lovely. Everyone's worked so hard, it's been really good, so I'm glad you've enjoyed it. But I will put the link up so that you can get to the videos all in one place. Okay, have a lovely rest of the day and enjoy your weekend. Hope you get some sunshine, hope you get to do some crafting, and I will see you again very soon. Take care, thanks for your company, bye bye.